Good morning. Excuse me. So, are you familiar with the parable of the lost coin? If not, I'll tell it a little bit because it has to do with what I'm happy about today. There was a woman and she had like some extra change and it fell down in the couch. So I just thought of another story that would be fun to tell you. I'm not going to though. Anyway, she was collecting all of her change, but there was a penny she couldn't find. This isn't the parable. This is my rendition of how I remember it, okay? If you want to look up the real one, it's the parable of the lost coin, and it's in the Bible. Anyway, it's told a lot better. The Lord tells it to explain to people the value of things. But anyway, this lady was looking for this penny, and she couldn't find it anywhere. She'd almost given up, and then she found it somewhere, and she was so happy. She called all of her neighbors and everybody and says, "Hey, guess what? I found a penny." I'm like, yeah, that's great, a penny. Well, the point is, it's kind of like, it's significant because something that was lost has been recovered. And I tell that because it relates to my son. Yesterday, well, the day before yesterday, we found out that he has a book that hasn't been returned to the library. Every Tuesday, he goes to the media center and he comes home and I'm like, "Do you have a new book?" And he says, "It's a secret." And when he says that, that's kind of my cue to back off. Let him, he doesn't want to tell you. So I didn't pry any further, but I figured there's something going on there. Anyway, when we went to the parent-teacher conference for him, we found out that he has a book missing, and although he can get books in his classroom, he's not allowed to check a book out from the media center until he either finds it, returns it, or pays for it. So yesterday I was thinking a lot about it, and that's most that I wanted to talk about. I looked everywhere when he was here, and I made him look with me, because it was his responsibility, not mine. Anyway, and we looked everywhere, under the couches and the cushions, everywhere that things usually hide, or they'll be on the floor, but they get kicked under the couch. And anyway, and we couldn't find his old school bag. He switched school bags at Christmas, and I thought, well, maybe it's in his school bag, because he was supposed to return it one day, and he didn't return it. He says, "It wasn't in my bag. You never put it in my bag." And I looked in the bag, and sure enough, there it was. And I was like, well, it's right here. What's the problem? Anyway, and I never remember taking it out of the bag, so I was looking all over for the bag, and finally I found the bag, and I was so happy. And everyone's like, "Why are you so happy?" And it's like, because the book might be in here, and it wasn't. And so I went upstairs the following morning, and I was looking. I decided to look not just under his bed, because we'd already done that, but I decided to pull the bed out and look underneath, the kind of between the wall and the bed. And I was so amazed at what I found. He has been reading a lot of books in his sleep. Now, he plays his tablet, and his dad gets mad at him, or my phone, and he says, "You're playing too many games and you're staying awake." But I personally didn't think that's what he was doing, but I didn't know he was reading books. I was so happy because there's a lot of books that I just couldn't find anywhere. And that made me so happy to know that he fell asleep reading books that many days. There was clothes and books and all kinds of stuff tucked in between. It looked like it had fallen in between his bed and the wall. Anyway, and there was that book. But I was so excited, I messaged my husband, and I said, "Hey, look, guess what? I found this book." But you know what I did? I re-hid it, and I came up with a fake story. Yeah, probably classified as dishonest, bad parenting, but then when he came in the door when he got home from school, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, there's something under this cushion on the couch. Joseph, can you look and see if there's something wrong?" Because he always tries to make me most comfortable. Anyway, he looks under there and he goes, "Oh my goodness, Mom, I found it." Well, before he did that, he says, "Let me try." And he lay down. He's like, "No, I don't feel anything." I was like, I guess princesses only feel things under cushions. Anyway, so he looks under there and he finds this book and he's so excited. He's like, I'm going to take this back to school and get another book. Anyway, he thinks he found it and he was so excited about it. He thinks he found it. He was like, I'm so glad that I found that book. Mom, it sure is a good thing I found that book and I didn't even have to have your help. Anyway, the book was a book by Tom Arnold, and it's called the Fly Guy series. If you've ever read it, he loves this book, and it makes me glad that he was trying to keep it. And he was, not only that, but he was reading it at night. Anyway, that's it. How do I turn this off?